General Hospital gives Brad Cooper back on the scene. Since he is usually up to no good, we expect things to get messy with him around. Of course, Britt Westbourne will be thrilled to have her bestie back, but chaos is coming. We're going to talk about some shady things that Brad might get up to that could really shake things up in Port Charles. Brad Cooper is back on General Hospital. Perry Shen is officially back this week, and fans are thrilled. I know I am. But where Brad goes, we all know trouble usually follows. We're going to talk about what mischief he and his bestie, Britt, get into, and how it affects his ex, Lucas Jones. Let's get to it. The first thing I think Brad is going to do is obvious. We know he's going to make a beeline to either Bobby's Diner or General Hospital to reunite with Britt now that he knows his BFF is alive. They're going to have a big old reunion, and then Brad will get into some hijinks with Britt. That's going to be huge because Brad, like the rest of Port Charles, thought Britt was dead for the past 2 years, and Brad was absolutely devastated. He'll be overjoyed that Britt is alive. I am curious to see if Brad also winds up renting a room at Bobby's as well, or even better, if Brad and Britt pool their resources and get a place together. That would be a party pad for sure. Remember when Brad and Britt would get together and watch the nurses' ball and make snarky comments? Hopefully Brad is staying long-term, and this isn't just a drop-in, drive-by to say hey to Britt and go. I don't think it is, because of this next thing we're going to talk about. Paternity scandal looms. Will Brad Cooper rig Portia's paternity test on GH? Another thing I think Brad is going to do right after he reunites with Britt is go see Portia Robinson, and he may be looking for a job so he can stay around. Brad can't blackmail her anymore, but they could do a favor swap. Portia may ask Brad if she gets him a job back running the lab, will he rig a paternity test for her? Portia may ask Brad to alter the results if it turns out Curtis Ashford is the father of her baby, and not Isaiah Gannon. We all know Portia is going to freak if Curtis is her baby daddy, because she hates Jordan Ashford butting in, and Curtis is with Jordan now. So if Isaiah is the dad, Portia can be done with the Curtis and Jordan drama and raise her baby with hunky Isaiah, who's totally on board to be the father. Portia also doesn't want Jordan to have a hand in raising her kid, which will absolutely happen if it is Curtis's baby. Portia may ask Brad to rig the test in exchange for whatever he wants. I think he's going to want to be lab chief again at General Hospital so he can work with his bestie, Britt. Of course, if Brad rigs the test, then that would be Portia's second paternity lie, but I can totally see Brad agreeing to do Portia's dirty work to get what he wants. Interfering with romance on General Hospital, Brad's plan to save Lucas Jones from Marco. The next thing I fully expect is for Brad to interfere with the relationship between his ex, Lucas, and his new man, Marco Rios. Of course, Brad still loves Lucas and he wants him back. I think he always will. That's his person. Brad was totally crushed when he saw Lucas's new guy getting with him at that medical conference in Miami. Even though nothing happened between them that night, Brad doesn't know that. Since Selena Wu is Brad's aunt, who is a criminal with a wide network, Brad may find out that Lucas's new man is neck-deep in criminal activities. Brad's going to be worried about Lucas, and I think he'll warn him that his new boyfriend is trouble. But I doubt Lucas will believe Brad, the same way he won't listen to Carly Corthos Spencer. Of course, with her, it's the hypocrisy because of Sonny Corthos, but also kind of with Brad since his aunt is a gangster. The warning that he gets may be enough for Lucas to keep a closer eye on his new boyfriend to see if things look suspicious. I don't think Lucas will stick with him once he finds out he is engaged in criminal deeds, and if Lucas breaks Marco's heart, his evil dad, Sidwell, might go after him. Hopefully Marco would stop his dad, and then Brad could get another chance with Lucas. A friend in need, Brad's role in Britt's Huntington's treatment. Alright, back to Britt. There's another thing Brad might do with her. Perhaps he can synthesize Britt's experimental Huntington's meds. I know she's a doctor, but Brad is a great lab researcher, and I think he would jump at the chance to do that for Britt. Plus, Jason Morgan was just talking to Britt about reverse engineering her meds so that she doesn't have to rely on Sidwell, also so that other people with Huntington's could benefit from the same meds. That could be a little foreshadowing. I could even see Jason approach Brad and ask him math Britt. Unraveling a GH mystery. Is Brad Cooper the real shooter who targeted Drew? The last thing is not something that Brad might do, but something he might have already done. We might find out Brad is the shooter who put 2 bullets in Drew Kane Matheson. There is some fan speculation that it was Brad that shot Drew, and that's why the job was not done well and he survived. Do you remember that flashback scene when someone talked to Selena about taking out a hit on Drew, and Selena told them, "I know just the guy"? That line probably wasn't for nothing, because she could have just said, "Sure, I can have someone take care of it." The person then said they changed their mind about the hit, but they might have lied about that part.
Or maybe they really did change their mind, but Selena went ahead and had Drew shot as a favor, thinking she could cash it in later. When Selena said she knew a guy to do it, that may have been a hint that she was planning to have her nephew, Brad, shoot Drew. As far as I can recall, Brad has never actually killed anybody before. He once pushed Liesl overboard, but I don't think he was trying to kill her. Then Brad did poison Peter Ivest because his Aunt Selena forced him to, and of course Brad was really nervous about that. But given that Peter incident, that shows that Selena's got a track record of forcing Brad to commit illegal acts. Brad's Mochster aunt gets pushy on General Hospital. Selena definitely could have forced Brad to do this dirty deed. She could have threatened Lucas, for instance. But if Selena did order Brad to carry out the assassination, he might have done it sloppily on purpose. Brad might have deliberately shot Drew in places he could likely survive. Brad does have medical knowledge. Plus, he could have chosen a small caliber weapon to minimize the damage, and then shot strategically to avoid major arteries and organs. While a lot of fans suspect Britt's bestie might be the shooter, they also don't want the shooter to be Brad because they don't want him to be sent to prison or go on the run. Fans want Brad to stick around to save Lucas from Marco. However, even if Brad did shoot Drew, he could get away with it because the GH promo for this week suggests that Drew might say on the stand that Michael shot him. Drew wants Michael to go down bad. No matter what happens though, Brad's return promises big drama ahead, and he and